Yep.
It's been a week?
No, I haven't been on in a while.
So it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks, yes.
Yeah.
Because we did record an episode last week, but...
Technical issue.
Technical difficulties. We lost the footage, or we lost the recording, the audio. So we'll have to re-record that. But...
all good.
I think we'll be looking forward to that episode. It was a really fun one for us.
Hopefully, because next weekend I think it's President's Day. It's like the long weekend.
I won't be here.
Oh, you're out of town next weekend?
I'll be gone on Sunday.
Okay, are you going to be here Saturday?
Yes. We could do a Saturday.
Yeah, we do Saturday, or are you back on Monday or are you just gone? For like
no, I'll be gone that whole week.
Oh, shit, where are you going?
Mexico.
Damn.
For a wedding, yeah.
Oh, shit.
So I'll be...
That's crazy. I just got back from a wedding.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was in Virginia like for like a week.
Oh, yeah, see?
Yeah.
Like, there's
fucking
part of
wedding,
me,
bro.
Like, that kind of doesn't want to go. That's because, like...
Because you're missing out on work?
Well, it's just, yeah. But it's not like I need the money. I just have such a fun, good time at work, man.
Yeah,
it's just such a... I just love it a lot.
But I mean, I feel like weddings are a cool time, so you don't have to individually go to all of your relatives' places. You could just see them all at once. Mm-hmm. It just, I don't know.
It works out.
It's hectic as fuck.
I probably need it, though, too, at the same time.
Take a break.
Yeah, just to recenter myself. I'm kind of getting, like, off track. And so I just need to recenter myself, take a couple days for me and just chill. Like, no obligations. Don't have to worry about a thing for the most part. Just live it up for a minute. You know what I mean? Like,
is there a reason they're doing Mexico, or is it just most convenient or something?
I have no idea.
I was like, you definitely don't have family there, so
no.
Unless I'm not aware.
They were just like, Mexico. I'm for it. Let's do it.
Damn.
So, yeah, I look forward to it. I can't wait to see all my relatives because I haven't seen a lot of them in a minute.
Yeah, is this on your mom's side or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's my mom's father's brothers. Well, my mom's cousin. Daughter. We'll just say that.
So she's probably around the same age as us, or similar.
A few years older than us.
Okay. So TJ's age.
Yeah, like a year older than TJ.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm happy for them. Can't wait to see them all. Like I said, her. Because I love those guys.
Yeah.
They're outside of the like, because you know, like the first cousins. I mean, we don't even consider that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're.
It's like your closest cousins.
Somehow we've clicked. Yeah. Somehow I've clicked with that side, which is awesome for me. But yeah, I can't wait to see them. And like me not wanting to go is nothing against them or anything like that.
Yeah,
it's just I've been having so much fun working and just hanging out that I'm like. But I could easily. It's not even gonna be that many days off. I think
that shit goes by fast, bro.
Yeah.
Because you're probably flying Sunday.
Yeah, I'll be in there in the afternoon.
And how long is that flight? Like 6 hours? 4 hours?
6 hours, and then the flight back is like 12.
What the fuck?
Well, there's a stopping. So.
Damn.
So I'll be coming back Saturday, and I'll probably be working that same night.
Jeez, bro.
Yeah. So I'm only missing like 3.
Yeah. I mean, we can do an episode next Saturday.
Well, yeah. I guess Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Friday.
Well, technically, even if you're not here, me and Kendall could do one. But
no, it's fine. We'll figure it out. If we can't do it on Saturday, then we'll figure. Yeah, you guys can run it if you need to. You guys always have access to here. Just hit me up or let my brother know or something.
Yeah. Oh, your brother's not going?
No.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I told you, he didn't have that connection with that family like I do.
Oh, I thought you guys were supposed to go.
Nope. Just me. They like me more.
Damn.
I'm just kidding. I just, like I said, I've just like had more
connection, like time with them.
Experiences and like, connections, and we hung out more often than he did because when I was living in Arizona, they were in Texas.
Oh, okay.
So it was a closer drive. They'd come more often.
And they're closer to your mom anyways, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I went to her brother's wedding.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, the person who's getting married, her older brother, I went to their wedding in Arizona.
Damn.
And he was in San Diego. But I don't know if he get invited. Yeah.
Family drama.
Nah, it's nothing like that. Like I said, I just hang out with them more. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah.
I spent more time with my aunt and uncle Not that I'm like trying to like, but I mean it just works out that way because like I said, they visit Arizona so often, and I lived there for a few years.
It's just so weird sometimes. Like on paper, some family relations are super distant, but you just click with certain people, and it just like
yeah. I mean that's the same thing. Like I think there's so it's my mom's father's brother's children.
Yeah.
So he's closer to, I would say, a different one that actually lives closer to us.
Oh,
that's because they both went to San Diego State.
Okay.
So they both went to the same school. So yeah, I feel like I think he gels with those guys a little better than I do. Again, I love them all the same, but at the same time, like in terms of like, that like I guess
closeness,
connection, they have more that direction, and I have more with the others.
Yeah.
Not to put names out there. Oh no.
Damn. Just because I know like Kendall's also super close with like Jasmine, and like that's probably one of the cousins he's more close with. So everyone kind of has that person that they're closer with.
Yeah, and it always fluctuates. Like when I was growing up, I had a cousin who was like 4 months younger than me.
Oh damn.
5, and we would share a walker, like those little bouncy walkers. We would literally be 2 people in one.
Yeah.
On those, we were like inseparable at a certain point. But then, we grew up. Things changed. I moved, and we stopped hanging out as much because, we just were busy with our lives. She moved, so we're still close, but at the same time,
it's not at that level.
Kind of like I said, yeah. I mean, like we could throw it back, get back into it, but at the same time, it's just there's a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah.
I've always thought of myself as like the black sheep of my own family, on my mom's side.
Like for a particular reason, or like?
It's just like I don't know. Like I just always felt different compared to everybody else. I always thought differently. I always like.
Yeah.
I just asked so many questions about a lot of things
that they just weren't like down to talk about.
Yeah, it's a thing of like I ask the questions, and to them it's just second nature kind of thing. I'm like, why do we do this? Or like, what is this dynamic? Why do we act the way we do? I just get very psychological with things. I just like to understand it, And to a certain point, my family's like, yeah, stop asking questions.
Just follow it.
It's just the way that we do it. That's just the way it goes. And I'm like, I mean, if we dive into it more, maybe we can understand a little bit. I'm that guy, Mr. Like, let's dissect. Right,
get beyond the surface level,
to the level of comfortability, right? Because I won't go deeper than
it has to be.
Then it's out of your comfort zone, and you don't want. But at the same time,
you don't want to like pry information, but
okay, I'm not there to be like, spill it.
Yeah, like if someone has like a bad like history or something with it, you're not gonna try.
I don't dive into that. It's more of curiosity's sake of like, hey, why did you choose this path? Or hey. Why do we operate this way? Because it makes me who I am.
And it just gives you a better understanding of like your roots.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough because some people, they kind of bury things from like the past, and they just don't want to like talk about it. And honestly, sometimes they might even forget because it's been so long. Yeah. There might be like, we don't want to answer this question because we just don't know, and we don't want to give you like the wrong answer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
there's many reasons. Yeah. Sometimes it's better left unsaid.
That's true.
But I'm just that guy that just doesn't know when to shut the fuck up, I guess. So I just like, with my family gatherings, I'm just like, I guess I'm more reserved, But it's just a thing of I just like observing.
Yeah. People watching, just like looking at the dynamics of different people.
I'll chime in when I feel I should, or when I want to. Like it's not that I don't feel like I have the freedom of expression within my own family. It's just I just rather listen and just see what happens and what goes on.
Like, because I was at a wedding too last weekend, and I hadn't seen some of my cousins since like 2015. So right when we got out of high school. But back then I used to talk a lot, I guess. I know in middle school I used to talk a lot. They were like, you're a lot more quiet now. I'm like, now I feel like I don't need to talk unless people like need something from me or like are directly asking me questions.
Yeah.
And I'm also like, I've never seen myself as someone who's like funny. So I'm not going to just interject and say something because I'm not like, that's not my like.
See, that's the same thing. Like, I feel like I'm funny with different groups. And within my family, I can be, but I just
don't want.
That's not my character. There's family members in my family that are way funnier than me.
Yeah.
I'll let them run the show. They're the life of the party. I'm okay with being the wallflower. But like in other groups, I'm the one that's cracking it. I'm the one that's. You take it from, like I said, I'll just like listen to what my cousin's saying, like, oh, that's pretty funny. Like, let's see if that'll work in this friend group, and it does. Or like, oh, the friend group is like more reserved. I have to be not the one like carrying. I just find myself becoming the one that's like
talking or engaging. Yeah, because like people like Kendall, they could just like you drop them anywhere, they're just gonna be that like ball of energy, bro. I can't do that, bro. Like
I pick and choose my battles.
I feel like I like definitely would have been the person asking all of these questions and talking a lot when I was younger. So maybe that's why they're like you're more quiet. But I'm like, but I've gotten older. Most of those questions I've either like figured out for myself, or we don't need to talk about them right now. Like
another thing too, and it's not like something I feel like to a certain point everyone thinks a little bit about this, but I feel like there's not much I want to like. Not that I want to. Yeah, there's not much I feel like I need to say. You know what I mean? Like when I meet up with family members and they're like, how's it going? Like, what are you up to? I'm like, it's nothing. Like nothing's really changed.
Yeah, like.
And I guarantee you, there's probably been a lot of things that changed, but it's like
we just don't think about it because it's like every day.
To be like, oh yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Like some people, again, it has to be provocative questions,
Like, like if someone asks me, I'll answer. I'm not gonna just sit there and not say shit to them. But like,
I've been more honest too, which was like a hard part for me, going forward.
Like when people ask you questions, or like,
because like, and it was just specific questions. So like, I'm mainly honest, but it was like that, like, oh, are you going to school still? And I'm like, I'm just taking a break, and like
instead of just saying what they want to hear, you just kind of tell them like
what's up. I know that I'm not going back, and I don't plan on going back. But at the same time, it's like I don't want them to hear that. So I was like, I'm just taking a break, which kind of like fell in like that gray zone where I was like, it's somewhat true.
Yeah.
I just don't know how long the break is going to be. And at this point, or like, and again, there's a part of me that was like, I don't think I'm going to go back kind of thing, But who knows? Because maybe I will, and it just won't be for like another couple of years or whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't figured it out by then. And when I do, maybe that's the spark I need for me to jump into it. But as of currently, I'm not going back to school, man. I can't it's not worth throwing that money out there just to be like, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
I've had that talk with like a few people now. It's become like a theme of like the, I don't know, last few weeks or month or so. Or maybe just a while and I just haven't even realized because like, I work at a bar. I talk to a lot of people. That just becomes a topic of interest for people. Oh, do you see yourself being a bartender for,
like the rest of your life or whatever? Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't even know what I'm doing next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's too hard to predict. Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I'm not a market chaser in the sense of like,
what's hot right now?
Yeah. Oh, dude. What is it like? STEM. That's what's to go in right now. Yeah. I'm like, okay, but what if I don't enjoy it?
Yeah.
Then I don't want to jump into it, even though it's the market.
Yeah.
The hot, like the market that's popping. If I don't enjoy it, then I don't want it.
And it's also like you never know what doors open because you weren't expecting to work at the bar in the first place. So it's like you don't know what doors open. So it's kind of like you can have an idea of where you want to be or like what you want to do. But if some other door opens along the way, there's no telling if you're just going to take that. Like you're just going to pivot like right away. Right? So
if you told me if we went back to when I first moved back here and someone told me or like
you'd be
you're going to be working in a bar again, then I'll be
you're like, hell no.
You're a fool.
Like I didn't move back here to do that again. Yeah.
And now here I am and I'm making splashes in there, so and I'm enjoying it now. That's the beauty of it. Like
it was just like more not as enjoyable in Arizona.
Yeah, it was like and don't get me wrong, because there was a lot of lessons I took out of it, and it taught me to be a great bar worker.
Yeah.
In whatever field, security, bar back, busser, even now bartender. But like it taught me such strong fundamentals and such a strong core that when I did come back to it, I was just running the shit, like running it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it gave you that like work ethic for like that environment.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of. It's really nice because, I mean, again when I first started working in a bar, it is I wouldn't say culture shock, but it is definitely a different kind of job.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my god, like
you're always seeing people. It moves really fast, and like sometimes you just like you can't afford to mess up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be communicative every day. You have to leave your shit at home kind of attitude.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's all this baggage. Once you step into that door and you're on your shift, you have to know how to let it go. Some places, some jobs,
you can still have in the back of your mind,
a little bit, and it not affect it too crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if you sit in a cubicle, you don't got to talk to people. You can still have it in the back of your head. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it still affects your performance or whatever, but
yeah, of course. But it's less noticeable. And at a bar, easily noticed. Or maybe it's me too. I don't know. I'm the person that just wears my like
emotions on your face. Yeah,
on my sleeves. Exactly. And I won't cut it short. I won't cookie cut it. Are you all right? Yeah, I'm not feeling the greatest.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I'm pretty tired. But when I jump into the bar, I'll tell like one of my staff, just because it's one of those things where I'm like, I'll be honest, I'm tired, but guess what? We're here and we're in for it.
Yeah.
Let's get it. And like immediately it's changed. And that's like kind of the thing too. You have to like set that aura out, or else, like I said, people kind of like feed off of that. If you're feeling down, like it's happened. If I'm like super quiet, my bartenders will notice. My other bartenders, hey, you're kind of quiet today. You all right? And I'm like, oh, I didn't even notice. I'm sorry. Like,
you're just like out of it. Yeah.
You're like, fuck. Like, oh man, they even notice. All right, well, and like I said, then they'll be like, almost like you have like the plague, not intentionally, but they're just like, It's like I don't want to be around. It's not that I don't want to be around the energy, but at the same time, like I don't want him to ruin my vibe, and at the same time, I don't want to ruin his even more.
Yeah. It's like when you're at like a party or something, and you see someone not having a good time. In your head, you're kind of like, I kind of wish this person wasn't here, but it also like I kind of don't want their day to get worse, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's just like, it's like
that person that's like exactly the like vibe killer.
Yeah, but you're like, it's like they probably do need to be out of the house or whatever, but you kind of like, bro, you're killing the vibe.
And it is almost like a game of like communication surgery where you're like, do I say something to try and pick up his spirits, or is he already gone from the thing, and it's just like, let's just power through the night kind of thing.
Yeah.
Again, I fucking love I love working at the bar, and I've worked in like customer service most of my life, and it's taught me how to like
talk to people,
communicate, and read people.
Yeah,
and be like, oh, this person is not like their words don't match their actions, kind of thing. I could tell just from how they're holding themselves, or oh, like this person says this, but like I don't think they mean it, or oh, this person's. In a sense, you kind of profile people, but like not in a negative way.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh,
like gauging him.
Yeah, like I can't come up to this guy all like, peppy and like, yo, what's up? That'll catch them like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they'll just take them off.
You got to read their vibe, and you just got to not match it, but you got to be complimentary to it.
I think like
within your own realm, like once you go out of that, like your own realm, and you're like,
it's not genuine.
Then they just feel like, okay, this guy is just like, there's something he's trying to get off of me.
Yeah, he's being fake or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like a lot of people, you can get good at verbal communication. I feel like that's emphasized a lot, right? Especially relationships or like whatever, like if you're a coach or a student. But I feel like we don't focus on the nonverbal stuff, or like reading people, knowing like what to say, when to say, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That goes over a lot of people's head. Like you might see someone and they're just like sitting there, and you might say the wrong thing because you're not thinking about like what is their mood or what is their vibe.
Sure. I took a communication class, and that was like one of the first things they taught you was like, communication is 10% verbal, 90% nonverbal. Yeah. Like your facial expressions, like any small movement, like you you're trying to like search the corners while you're communicating, or like your tone doesn't match your words, like like, hey, I love you.
Yeah.
Fucking love you. Like it doesn't easy. You're like, okay, the words are there, but the
tone like their meaning,
the intent, or,
the energy's not there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I used to, like when I was doing martial arts, whenever someone would be talking, I'd be bored, I'd like start pouting, but I never noticed like I would start pouting and someone wouldn't like pointed it out to me. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, I didn't even know I did that because like back then I used to not be into people watching or being like observant because I was just like doing whatever. But I was like, damn, if you just sit and watch, people have so many mannerisms that they probably don't even realize they're just doing because it's just not like conscious for them. It's just like they're just doing it. But you can pick up on so many little things. It's crazy.
Oh, for sure. Easily. But again, that takes time and it takes practice to do that. Like sometimes, and like there's always that like those memes where it's like guys are so dense they can't even pick up if girls are trying to flirt with them or trying to the messages that they're trying to give them. And don't get me wrong,
some of them be hard as fuck to pick up.
Some of them are just like, oh, did you not see me like flutter my eyes at you? Like,
I'm like, what the? Nah, bro.
No, I didn't. Sorry, I wasn't staring at you the whole time. That's not, you know, it becomes like I said, like your own chess game.
Or like I slightly touched you. I'm like, bro, what?
Yeah,
like you could have just bumped into me.
Yeah,
like
I grazed you. Oh, I thought you were just walking by.
Yeah, like
yeah.
That shit. I feel like that's I don't get how some people just intuitively just know that stuff. Especially with like relationships or picking up girls or whatever. That shit always goes over my head. Never pick up on the.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've worked in bars for so long. Like it becomes a thing for me that like I ignore it. You know, like I notice,
but you just don't.
And I'm just like, I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see it.
Yeah,
I want them to spell it out for me, kind of thing.
It's weird because like when I'm buzzed or like drunk, I pick up on them more, and I'm like, how the fuck does that happen?
That's the thing too. Is I mean, like alcohol makes you a little more courageous, and you'll.
That's true. Yeah.
Because I've seen people.
Or you just don't overthink things as much.
Either that, or you're just like it gets to like almost a narcissism sometimes. You know, where people are like,
I could get anyone.
Yeah, like she's definitely giving me the eyes, and you're like. She's not even looking at you. Nah. Like, you should have seen it like a second ago. She gave me the look. Or she was doing double taking this way. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, she wants it. You're like, okay.
All right, bro.
And some people are right, and a lot of the times they're wrong. You know, and it's like, let them learn, or you know, like I said, it's that liquid courage too. At the same time.
Yeah, the liquid courage is crazy, but yeah, I think going back to like how. You're talking about how you're more reserved to like family stuff. I didn't want to believe it for a while because even when I was at Berkeley, people would be like, "You're kind of quiet," and in my head, I'm like, "Bro, there's no way I'm quiet," because I used to get kicked out of class for like talking all the time or whatever.
Yeah.
But then like this time around, when like my cousins were saying it, I was like, "Damn, maybe I have gotten like more quiet and more like reserved." Because now I'm the same way. I like. Before I used to just to talk or like be part of conversation without even thinking like, do I need to talk here or like, does my input even make a difference or whatever? But now I'm like, let me just hear what other people are saying. And then if I really have something to add, then I'll say something. But if I don't, then I should just not. Yeah. It's kind of like I used to not think before I spoke. And now I'm like trying to think a little bit more.
You got to play that game though too at the same time. Because if you think too much, then like now it's like you're calculating. And that's not.
You don't want to be like robotic.
Yeah, that's not completely healthy either. You gotta have like a good harmonic balance to it, you know. Or it's like I've already thought it out enough, you know. Like I've thought about this conversation so many times, or like I've thought about like the realm of this conversation where I feel confident enough that I can keep going forward into my speech. Yeah, you know.
And I think there's definitely some people like they'll just talk to you, and right away you'll just want to talk to them more than other people. I don't get what it is. It's just they're just more extroverted or something, but they just have like a vibe about them where you're like, I could talk to this person for hours.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
and there's other times where it's like
I'm good, bro.
Or like when you're listening to someone and you're just like it's interesting what he's saying, but man, like I need to get out of this conversation for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It happened to me last night, and the guy was a cool guy, but he just rambled. I just felt like he was rambling.
Oh, was he just hella drunk?
No, he was just like, I don't know. Because I showed up late and he had like maybe two beers.
Oh, okay.
2 light beers. So I was like, maybe he just wants to talk things out. And I'm like, okay, I'll be those ears. But at the same time, you're just like,
I gotta work too.
Because you're just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Not that I need to even say anything. I want to get a word in, but at the same time, it's like, I'm getting like information dumped. And
you're just like, this is not going anywhere.
It's
like not useful.
To anything for me, but at the same time, like you're just like, I'm here for it because
You don't have a choice.
To a certain point, I just want him to feel like he's being listened to.
Yeah.
It always comes down to that. Like, as much as I don't want to like dive into this or like, and I'll find my outs if I need to. At the same time, I'm like, like, I don't owe this guy anything, but I feel like if this was me and I was like, I just needed to talk. It wasn't anything like
crazy. Yeah.
I need to talk things out.
Yeah.
Like, I got.
Or like venting.
But he just wanted to just go off, and I'm like, I've had those moments too. And it kind of...
Or like, sometimes when you're drinking, something just sets like something off in your brain, and you just want to
For sure. And I get like that sometimes, and I honestly sometimes hate myself for it.
It's hella cringy looking back.
I'm like, damn, I was talking that fool's ear off. Like, shit.
Yeah.
It's happened a couple times lately, like recently, and I'm like, dude, I was just talking the whole time. Like, I hate that. I really do. I like having conversations, dialogue, not monologues.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, damn, if I would sit next to the old me, I would probably get annoyed because I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. But yeah, it's weird to see how people change over time. Some people mellow out and some people get more hyper. I haven't seen the other one as much, but
I mean, I've just taken it to like a realism kind of thing where I'm like, but I'll do it with like a good attitude. Like there's those people that are just realists and they're like, that's some bullshit. But for me, I don't try to cookie cutter or like try to dance around it. I'm like, I'll give you the hard facts, but at the same time, like let's look at the positives as well.
Yeah, like look at both sides.
Yeah, exactly. Because people will ask me some shit, and I will not like be like, oh no, dude, like you.
Oh, like you won't just support him just to support him.
Yeah. Or I'll be like, yo, like. And I always end it with this. I always start it with this. I'm like, you make the choice you want to make. End of the day, it's your choice. But I don't think it's a good idea. Here's why. Because, again, it's a thing of where they bring it up, and I'm like, okay, you're talking to me about it for a reason, or are you
like you just want validation? Yeah.
Because if you're going to talk to me about it, I'm going to say something. Or like when people bring problems to me, I was talking to a buddy about this the other day. This was like a few weeks ago. It was like, if you have a problem and you're going to vent it to me, okay, I'll listen. But if you keep coming to me with the same problem over and over again,
I'm going to get over it. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you to either stop talking about it to me, or I will give you, like, if you're talking to me about it as many times as you are, I'm going to give you what I think I would have done, or what I think would be the best decision in that choice. Otherwise, why do you keep telling me?
Yeah. Why do you keep asking someone if you're not going to take their advice? But some people just come to you for advice just to get like validation on what they already like want to do. I guess they just want more reassurance that other people would do the same course of action as them. Yeah,
I mean that's like, because I always ask people this question every now and then. I'll be like, hey, what's the end goal? Like, what's your dream? Like, what's the move? And they're like, I want to be, and they'll shoot big, and I'll be like,
so why
fucking go for it? Like, like why not? Yes. What are we doing in this life? Why not go for it?
Yeah.
Like what's holding you back? The repercussions. I'm like, I get those, and don't get me wrong. You have to put that into your like
considerations.
Yeah, you have to put that into consideration. But at the same time, like people, like the people who are successful with the dreams that they wanted to go through with, they took risks. You can't play it safe.
I feel like even when you take risks, even if it doesn't work out, at least you learn something.
Oh, you learn something.
It's not like you're never gonna stay stagnant. You might not be as high as you want to get to, but you'll at least be higher than when you started it.
Yeah, you'll learn something better for it.
Yeah.
And that was that's me at the bars, because I was like, I did come in with a slight ego because I was like, oh, I did this at like the busiest bar in Arizona. And like I handled that. This is cakewalk. And my first couple of days coming back to the bar scene, I was shit.
Yeah, it just took you a while to get back on your feet.
Yeah, I was like, and I had every excuse for it, kind of, or in my head. You know what I mean? Like,
Where you don't tell anyone.
I don't validate. No, I would. I wouldn't validate them though. To myself. Like now, I'm like, those weren't valid enough excuses. But when I was making them on the spot, I'm like, oh, I didn't know we were supposed to wash it like this, or I didn't know this was like how the setup was, or like this is on my second day, like I'm still figuring it out. And like instead of like bitching and moaning and being like, oh, woe is me because I made a mistake and I can't own up to it, I was like, okay, I fucked up. How do I do it right?
Yeah, just take accountability.
Before I fuck up, show me how to do it right so I don't fuck up again. Or if I got yelled at for something, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to own that up. And now I'm never going to do it again because I did not like how he yelled. Or I did not.
You don't like the reaction.
Like he did not like that performance out of me. I'm never going to make that mistake again.
Yeah.
You know, and then like I said, because I've told a couple of people, like, this is how I operate. But I start creating like a checklist in my head now. Oh, fuck, like we don't want towels all over the place. Or, oh shit, like we need to wipe the bar, like the stainless steel down before we go out because it just looks sloppy. Or like I got yelled at that for last time. Or like it was something we had to be sure of. Our GM like was specific about this aspect. I'm not going to mess that aspect up. You know.
Just paying attention to the little details and like not trying to make the same mistake twice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what makes you, I wouldn't say, that's what makes people to a certain degree incompetent. If someone's yelling at you about something, like if you're general manager, I don't know, don't let me say yelling. But general manager is like telling you to do something this way.
Yeah.
And you don't, or you don't do it the first time, maybe you should do it the way he's saying to. You know? And then if you continue not to do it, that's why they start getting upset with you because like you're not listening to them. It's almost this is what my dad taught me as when he was a baseball coach, right? Because he was a third base, like he was a third base coach.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you're hitting,
you
have your first and third base coach. Usually your third base coach is like the head guy. You know, he throws you the signs and he'll tell you to like flag you down or like, hey, you know, keep going. He's the one you're gonna be like paying attention to the most.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, if I tell you to go, you know, and you get out, and you gave it all your effort, that's on me.
Yeah.
The one who made the calls, that called the shots. It's not on you. You put in everything you could, and for whatever reason it didn't work out, and that's on me because I made the calls bringing you through. Like, oh, it got hit into like center field, outfield. And you're rounding second, heading to third, and he thinks you could beat the throw, and you don't. That's on him. As long as you put in that effort, you didn't look back, and you didn't like get caught in like the distractions of everything, and you just kept going for the base. That's on the coach. That's on the GM. So for me, I'm just gonna do what they say, and if if they catch me later, they catch themselves on their own thing. Oh, that doesn't work. Well, I guess I fucked up on that. And they won't say it that way, but I just like to make it easier spoken. But they'll just be like, that doesn't. I guess we'll have to look back into that because that methodology is not the best. So let's reconvene on this. All right, cool. How can you get in trouble for that? I was doing exactly what you wanted to do. Yeah.
I feel like people they don't even get mad at you for making mistakes because we all make mistakes. It's like you said, if you make the same mistake twice, or if someone told you not to do something and then you just go ahead and like do it anyways kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like no one, like let's say like you try out a new way to be more efficient at the bar and it doesn't work out. No one's going to get like mad at you, but they're going to be like, yo, next time, like maybe talk to us before you do this or like blah, 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 blah.
Or like, hey, that's not fast enough. Go back to the old way.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I thought it was. And you have better eyes on it than I do, so yeah, I'll take your word for it. I had a bartender of mine who I love this dude. He was a good person and he was a pretty decent bartender, but he just had like it was like an ego battle with our GM. And same thing, like he was like, no, I do it this way.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the way it should be done. And it was like, for me, because I liked both parties, but I understood both like aspects of where they're at. It's like, just do it the way the GM says to. As much as you know, like let's say that you do know more than him. At the same time, like he's saying to do it this way, just do it that way for the time being.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how this bar operates, or like that's just how it operates here. Just follow that, and you won't get yelled at for it.
I feel like at jobs, especially, like the ego takes over too much, and people like they don't check that shit before they like clock in or whatever.
For sure.
Because it's like everyone wants to like move up and stuff, but it's like there's a right way to go about things and then like a wrong way or whatever. Like if you just started somewhere, you're not about to be telling people how to do shit. Like you got to figure out how they already do shit and then be like, okay, I found that like we could change these things or like whatever.
I feel like, and I love doing this, But as much experience as I can put down on a resume and be like, I have X amount of years in this field, I'm always going to come into it like I'm a newbie.
Yeah.
I think that's the easiest and best way to do it, because either like you'll learn a new way of doing it, or you can start like, hey, I mean, I've seen you guys do it this way. You know, I used to work at another bar that did it this way. What are your thoughts? Instead of just going into your habits.
Yeah, I mean, that's why like even at like cubicle jobs, like you get a week or 2 weeks of onboarding or whatever, because every place does it different. Even if your like exact task is the same thing, like even if you're just coding, everyone has like a different structure of how they want their code to be like written, or like, so it's understandable for like the whole team.
Yeah.
And you can't just be like, oh, well, this is how we did my last place, and that's better than this or whatever. Like,
yeah, I'd rather be annoying and get reamed for being annoying to get things right.
Yeah.
Than being incompetently yelled at all the way across the board and thinking I've been doing it right the whole time. Rather be like, okay, is this right? Like I want you to double check this real quick. Like, just look over the work, or like, hey, am I like critique me if you have to.
Yeah.
Like, please. So that way, moving forward, I'm more confident.
Or just
in
being
what I'm
like,
doing, and I have to ask you less.
Or like even early on, just being like, yo, I didn't understand. Like, can you like go through it again? Or like, can you go through it even like one more time?
Yeah.
Until you get it right. Like, rather make your mistakes early on than like later when they give you more on your plate, and then now you're fucking up, and then it like.
Yeah, you were never caught up to begin with, and now you have more to do.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It's just like you have to build a strong foundation, because then once shit starts stacking up, if you have a bad foundation, it's just gonna come down.
Yeah, and I think this. I mean, it's hard because people always like use the dog eat dog world, and I mean, there's very little truth to that. Very little.
Yeah, it just depends on like, again, what you want out of life, kind of thing.
Yeah, but if like for me, I've never been like, let's bring people down so I could build myself up. That's never worked.
I feel like
I've never seen that work for anybody like successfully long term, and I've never seen that. I mean,
I've seen it work for people, but I haven't seen them be happy when they get what they set out to do. Kind of like they might have hit their like, okay, I want to be a CEO or something, but they get to that position, they're not happy. They're like miserable because of the way they went about it.
Yeah.
So.
No, I always like to bring people up and just like, like, why not? Like, let's make, as a bar back, let's make the bartenders be the best bartenders they can be.
Yeah.
Okay, as a bartender, let's, do whatever I can to make it easier on everybody else. Because then it makes everyone else's job a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And it makes it just run a little bit better, and everyone's going to want to be like more buddy and more like communicative because of it, because it's like, oh, he's got my best interest in mind. Yeah. That's awesome. Doesn't have to be reciprocated. I never look for that, but it usually becomes the case, because he's got my best interest in mind. We both like this job enough. We both like the crew, so I want to put his best interest in mind at the same time.
Yeah, I just never understood how, like, in a team environment or whatever, like, how people think that one person's success will hinder someone else's. I feel like if someone's doing well, like, everyone's going to be feeding off of that at least and, like, getting better.
Yeah.
It's like...
Well, they say that you are as strong as your weakest link,
yeah.
And it's true. Like, if we have a security staff that has... If we're running 4 people for a security staff... Right. I have to speak in these comparisons or
examples,
examples, because they're the ones that I can relate to the most. Yeah. But like a security team, if one of your security guys is very underwhelming or underperforming, like that could be the chink in the armor that spells disaster.
Yeah.
Right. It just takes that one guy. Same with the bartenders. You have one loose cannon bartender, and the other 2 are all stars. It'll still be a disaster of a night because of the one loose cannon. That's just how it runs. It goes with the same thing. Like, you could take it to like an engineering field, right? Like, we're all going to do a part of a code. Okay, well, everything looks good except for person 4, whose code just looks garbage. It's not going to operate the way you guys want it to, because
it's not up to par.
3 of the 4 are amazing. The 4th one still gets run through the program, and it still has to go through the compiler. And still, So Yeah, it's really funny because team orientation can be so easy.
Yeah, if you
have,
wanted to.
Yes.
It's just like in sports, like everyone knows, like on every team, there's like those 2 or 3 like best players, but they can't just do it on their own, right?
Yeah.
They still need other people
Oh,
to help out. So it's just like in that sense too, like the people who might be like better at coding. I'm sure there's some things they're not amazing at, and I'm sure there's other people who are better at those little aspects. That's why you need everyone on a
like
on a
soccer
team.
or football.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to be both. The quarterback's not also going to play defense.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens sometimes in high school, but like you get to the pro levels, college levels, you're not going to see quarterback playing safety.
Yeah, no.
It's not happening. You're not going to see a defender on soccer try and be a forward and do both. It's just impossible. Like, just sounds grueling. But yeah.
It's like sometimes we like in team environments, you see what other people are doing. You're like, I could do that too, but then you kind of forget what you're actually good at doing, and then you forget to focus on that, and that's what makes the whole team run in a sense.
Yeah, I'd rather have a bunch of B performance people with like A+ team attitude, team effort, than like all-star freaking line, like an all-star staff that cannot work as a team
together. Yeah. It's like if Draymond would be like, I could score. Let me just try and like get 30 points tonight. Like, bro, that's not what you're good at. You could, like, we understand you're in the NBA, so you could probably score, but that's not what your like skill set is catered towards.
Like exactly. Like in that team, like you're more built to be
like the facilitator and like
team captain and the defender and the facilitator. Same with like the Bulls with Dennis Rodman. Like he knew he wasn't going to get buckets.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to pull the rebounds because that's what they got me here for. That's my job here on this team is to pull the boards, man the post and fucking just get the ball to Mike. That's it.
Like it's weird because people understand that when they're playing sports, but then why don't they understand that when they're in like other environments? It just doesn't translate, but I don't get why it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
I mean, it happens. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, for me, it always in my head. Sometimes it just boils down to like delayed gratification. People see like the short term, like, oh, look it, I can just benefit myself. Yeah, and that's cool for me. But at the same time, if you go, hey, like if I benefit everyone, including myself, then long term, it's just everyone's gonna keep benefiting and benefiting. And instead of me just like being okay with like this self benefit all the time, it becomes like, that's like flat rated at this certain point. You go, oh shit, now we're making more. And now everyone's making more. Now everyone keeps making more because like everybody wants to be a part of this team and this team is well built. And now that, or like in cases where, and like I said, like in your example of like, oh, you can't have like 3 super all-stars like run a team. Like, no, you can't because like let's say one of them retires, quits, leaves, whatever the case may be, is gone. Or gets hurt or something. That's a spot missing. That's a big gap to fill. Can't. No one wants that. Right? If Mike during the Bulls like run was just like he did retire. He just like Yeah, exactly. But if he did that into the primes, like like 97 Bulls where they were winning like the championships, like halfway into the season, it's like I'm chilling. Yeah. What would have happened? I don't think they would have been the like who they were, the franchise or the dynasty that they were. Same with Kobe. If Kobe was just like, I got my 3 rings, I'm good. Yeah. That gap to fill, those shoes, dude, LA is still trying to figure that out. And they got freaking LeBron. They got Westbrook, LeBron. They said it was Superman or Dwight Howard. Yeah. They got like all these Carmelo. They have all these all-star casts, and they can't make it happen. Yeah, because you just gotta have that team chemistry, and just like when you're used to being like the main person, and then you have to like now you have to put your ego away and be like, I know I'm capable of this, but that's not what's needed right now. Yeah, I mean that was the Bucks. Yeah. Okay, we have Giannis who's gonna keep driving to the basket, not quite a shooter yet. But I mean, besides the fact, like he'll just drive, draw defenders, and if he gets drive too much, out to Middleton. Yeah. I'm gonna hand it to a shooter. They're gonna hit a mid range, or they're gonna hit that 3, and now we're even more of a threat. Now even the Suns are even starting to do that. Devin Booker.
Yeah, not just like ISO.
Gotta guard deep. He's gonna fucking throw it up. Nah, he's just gonna pass it into Ayton.
Yeah.
Chris Paul's just gonna fucking facilitate that shit.
And it goes back to like the nonverbal stuff. Like you have to know what your teammates are good at. Like you have to know what they're not good at.
You have to play to their strengths for sure, but at the same time, you have to let them recognize their weaknesses
so they can work on them. Yeah. And you don't want to put them in positions where they're like going to be vulnerable with their weaknesses. No. So it's like, you have to. I feel like people have to be more cerebral in like work environments, and they're not.
Almost becomes like an autonomous thing.
Yeah.
People just fall into like monotony and routine.
They're just like, I'm just going to do me and focus on what I'm doing and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I mean, it's very noticeable in like office settings.
Yeah.
Because I worked the office job for a good year or two. And man, it was easy to fall into monotonous routine where I'm just like, okay, do.
I did my shit, yeah.
Literally, it's like, oh, look, it's 9:15 again, and I finished the same thing at the same time, and now time to go get my coffee break, and back to it, and now I got myself like 30 minutes to chill.
Yeah.
Because I blah, blah, blah. But, like, again, why I love working at bars and customer service is because you can never do that. You can never be like, robot.
Yeah.
You read the people and you go.
And there's always like Slack to pick up in different places and stuff for you to do. So,
100%. Yeah. Or like again, it's chaotic for sure, but it's so like fluctuating in that sense of chaos because like you could pour the same drink over and over again, and like person number 6 was like too strong.
Yeah.
Or that's.
Not strong enough.
Yeah, not strong. Exactly. And you're like, oh, I poured it exactly like the others. And you're like, well. And in some cases, you can't do much to it. But in others, you're like, maybe I used too much, like filler. Maybe I put too much cranberry in there. Or maybe I, killed it with too much lime juice or whatever the case may be. Oh, this is too sour. Okay, maybe I'll, for him, I'll cut off on the sweet and sour. You have to cater to them in that sense.
Yeah.
At the same time, without compromisation.
Yeah, that's why the nonverbal communication and just being more aware. Like you have to let yourself be open to being aware, I guess, instead of just being too tunnel vision.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Open-mindedness is such a good trait to have.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like, oh, what he says makes sense. I agree.
Yeah. You just have to be open to listening.
Yeah, you have to just okay. I see how you can believe that, and I respect that. I guess I will agree to disagree, but at the same time, I respect your decisions. And other times, you can get into healthy dialogue and arguments and debates, and it goes from there.
Yeah.
Well, we might not convince each other, but at the same time, we learned a lot about each perspective.
Yeah, I hope slowly as the world is becoming more autonomous, people don't lose that human aspect of them.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be a hard fight to not get into that robotic mindset.
It's going to turn into the movie WALL-E.
Right.
Right? That's the extreme of it. We're all going to be sitting in lounge chairs, and the chairs are going to do everything for us. We don't have to move a muscle. Literally, our bones are going to shrivel up, and we're just going to be like these plumpy fat potatoes.
But then you're going to see the people who really want to do shit versus people who are I don't really care.
Right.
There's people who are I want to be outdoors. I want to go see people. I want to have these interactions. There's other people that are nah, bro. If I don't have to leave the house for the rest of my life, I would totally do that.
And everything in between.
Yeah, but I still think no matter what, communication is still going to be
number one.
Number one. That's never changing.
Humans are social creatures.
Yeah.
By nature, they are social creatures. That's how we become such a successful species. And whatever people want to do in terms of we're not successful because we have wars with each other. And, at the same time though, what other species has built microphones where we can record our own voices? What other species can, conceive their own thoughts and their own intelligence, their own self-awareness? It becomes a thing. It could be a double-edged sword, that's for sure. But at the same time, we did that because we were social creatures. We worked in groups and we survived as a group. Well, I can't hunt this elk on my own, but if I have 4 other people to help me,
we could do it.
Strategically plan this. Oh, we're gonna get them all day long.
Yeah.
We're not the only animals that do that, right?
All animals communicate in their own way. Yeah.
Hyenas, they hunt in packs. Wolves, for the most part, hunt in packs. But yeah.
Communication is going to be huge, and I just hope people spend more time on it instead of it being like an afterthought. Like instead of it just being like a way for like you to prepare for PowerPoints or like whatever.
Yeah.
Just be more conscious of it, like whenever you're in social environments.
I love sounding eloquent and not having to like stutter my words.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel more confident, and I'm like, oh, I do feel like what I'm saying right now is what I've truly thought.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh, well. I used to do that all the time where I'm like stuttering through my sentences because I just had no idea what I wanted to say. And I was like out of pocket, like hip fire.
Yeah, like you started the sentence without like truly thinking about.
Right, without where it's going to go.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, I still fire from the hip a lot of times. But,
and sometimes it's good just to be like quick thinking.
But I was going to say, it's because I've been in so much thought, or like now I understand like how I am, or like I've learned to discover myself through communication that like, I can fire from the hip because I know I'm not going to miss this target kind of thing. No, it's right there. Boom.
Yeah.
Accuracy, precision. Boom. I said what I needed to say. Cool.
Got it done. Yeah.
And a lot of the other times, sometimes you'll catch me like rambling a circle, and I just fired from the hip too many times.
Yeah.
Or like I'm just like holding the trigger down like it's a laser beam.
Machine gun. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm just spraying it.
Yeah. Well, that was a good talk about just communication, nonverbal.
Oh yeah.
And like verbal, and just like.
Didn't think that was the direction we were going to go with it.
Yeah, but
it turned into that way.
I'm not mad at it.
I liked it. Oh yeah, it's good, healthy, and just nice flow to it. Yeah. But we'll come back to this again another week. We're glad you guys chimed in with us. We didn't talk much about this, but the Super Bowl is probably going to be over by the time we're done with this.
Yeah.
Hopefully your team did really well. Hopefully the people who put their bets in on whatever they're putting their bets in won. And to those that lost, better luck next one.
Yeah. Hopefully you didn't get too drunk.
Yeah. But also have a good time.
Yeah.
Bengals and the Rams. So Cincinnati and LA fans go crazy, but not too crazy. Come on.
But yeah.
On that note, thank you for tuning in. And it is your boy Maui.
And it's Bambi.
And this is Couch Surfing.
Peace.